I'm pretty sure you all agreed at the beginning of this course that you want your loved one's treatment to be successful. So the key word for this module is going to be foundation. The success of your child or your spouse's recovery is going to be directly related to how solid the foundation is. But the thickness of that foundation can be real deceptive. In Rehab Works, I said it's like ice on the surface of a lake. Looking at it from above, you might not be able to tell how thick it is. It might only be 1/8 of an inch thick and a bird couldn't land on it, or it could be 3 feet thick and you could drive a truck across the lake. You want your loved one's foundation to be as thick as possible. And one of the most effective ways I've found for making that happen is by using what's called the Stages of Change model. So this section of the course is going to be about showing you how to use this as a tool for making sure that a solid foundation is getting built. It's based on the principle that anytime a person decides to change a behavior that's causing a problem, there's a series of specific stages they've got to go through if they want to be successful in changing the behavior. Skimping on any of these stages by blowing through the process too quickly is what creates a shaky foundation. And in drug treatment, it ends up being one of the biggest reasons for high relapse rates. But by using this model, we're going to show you how to identify the most common places where cracks occur in the foundation and what you can do to avoid that. So we're going to start off with just an overview of what this Stages of Change model looks like. The first stage is called pre-contemplation. This is the denial stage. A problem exists, but they're not aware that it exists. The second stage is called the contemplation stage. The client begins to look at the behavior to make a determination if it's a problem or not. They begin to weigh things out, the pros and cons, the benefits and risks. They look at where it got me versus where I want to be. And if they land on the determination that, yes, I believe this is a problem, the next stage is called the preparation stage. The person makes a plan for what they're going to do to overcome the problem. Then the action stage is where they begin to implement that plan by practicing new behaviors. Notable here is that the action stage should typically last 3 to 6 months. That's how long it takes for these behaviors to become routine, which is a really important part of this process. And then eventually, as the new behaviors become routine, the client moves into the maintenance stage, which is characterized by consistent, symptom-free behavior. No sign of the initial problem. Then in the case of where a client relapses, they're going to go back to some point and recycle through the process. They may end up stuck in denial and never get out of the pre-contemplation stage, or they might need a little tune-up in their contemplation work to make sure that they're really convinced that they do have a problem. Or they may be clear about having a problem, but never really committed to following a good plan that should have been developed in the preparation stage, and they may have a little more work to do there. So over these next few videos, we're going to dive into each one of these stages individually. We're going to look at what all's involved in making sure we're solid in each one before we move on to the next one. That's the key to building a solid foundation and ultimately to treatment success.